I knew it, brother. I always know it, brother. Oh, brother. There's no bias. Now that's what I call brother. So sorry we had to end the stream so early last night, guys, because it was just because Yasser was sleeping, so we didn't want to wake up Yasser. Sorry about Yasser sleeping last night, guys. I hate when Yasser's sleeping. Yasser's sleeping, Yasser's sleeping. Don't wake him up. Don't wake him up. He has to get his beauty rest. He has to get his beauty rest. That's enough. Yasser's sleeping. Yeah, sir, sleeping. Yasser sleeping, Yasser sleeps. He's sleeping, he is asleep. Yasser sleeping, he fell asleep. He slept. He is sleeping, he is sleeping. He is sleeping, he is sleeping, he's sleeping, he's sleeping. Yasser is sleeping, he fell asleep, fell asleep. He's sleeping, he is sleeping, he is sleeping, he sleeps. He sleeps. So sorry about last night, guys. I wanted to go on for like 8 more hours, but Yasser fell asleep. Sorry. Sorry, everybody. I know that we were. I'm so sorry, guys. I feel badly about Yasser sleeping, but there was nothing I could do. He just gets eepy sometimes. He even typed it in the chat. He was saying, "I'm eepy." I was like, "Oh, go to sleep, Yasser." He was like, "Okay, I will. Good night, RC." I was like, "Okay, no problem, buddy." I said, "Nighty night, Yasser." I had to say that because he was sleeping. Sorry, everyone, that he fell asleep and stuff. Sorry about it, guys. Sorry that Yasser fell asleep, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm so sorry about Yasser sleeping and stuff, guys. I told him not to. He didn't listen. If I could control him, I would. But he's an uncontrollable beast. Guys, if I could control Yasser, I would tell him never sleep again, because it's kind of ruining the show for everybody else. I feel so bad about Yasser falling asleep and stuff. Pisses me off. I told him not to. He can't. Yeah. Ugh. Sorry, guys. At least we figured out who's harding the stream now. It's your boy Red Shadow. What is up? Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is sleeping, and he fell asleep even though I asked him not to. Pisses me off, gets me mad, makes me sick. I'm gonna grab his hair. I'm gonna grab his hair and put him in a ditch. I'm so upset. I went to the Stove today to pick up my PlayStation that they said was fixed, and it wasn't. Luckily, I asked them to test it in the store to make sure that I wasn't bringing home a dud, and it wasn't working. So, it was enough of a reason to me to have a bad day. Homeboy walking around with his boxers and socks on, talking about that was a long day. Yum, yum. You ever play a game or something and the voice acting in it's like it sounds like people who shouldn't even like be voice acting? Oh, brother, brother, brother. Hi, bud. What's wrong? What's up? It's good to see you too, buddy. I missed you today. Nice big fangs you have. Oh my goodness. I don't know about this, guys. I really do not know about this, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh. I'm gonna fucking scream. That's like an 8. I know. Hi, honey. I know. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. I know. I don't want to amble either. Huh? I need a cane. Oh! What am I gonna do? This is bad. This is really bad. Oh, this is not good. It's the only place I can do it where it's above my head. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Bro. Brother. Brother. Oh my goodness, brother. Brother, that's really scary, brother. Oh, brother. So, brother, be one good reason why I shouldn't end you right now. You're my brother, that's why. Bing bong. Bing bong, bing. Oh, oh my gosh, that is probably top five. That's top five, actually. Genuinely. I think that might be top five. That just might be top five. Worst ever. Oh. Folks, look, I'm not going to lie to you, okay? We're going to start the show, and that's not a joke. And I wouldn't lie about that. I never would lie about that. I would never lie about that, ever. Ever. I would never lie about that. I would never lie about that. That's not even funny. How is that funny? What's funny about that? I don't find that very funny. I don't find that very funny at all. Actually, I don't find that funny at all. In fact, it's not funny. I could even call it unfunny. So anyway, folks, we're going to start the show. Thanks for joining in. If you're just joining me, if this is your first ever interaction with me, hello. So, folks, we are starting, and, this is the first time you're checking me out. Hello, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Stick around a while. Maybe it'll even become more clear to you from a little bit now from before today and everything. And if you really think about it and you try and you look at it from a certain point of view, maybe it's gonna be good. And you look at it. Hi everyone, it's me. This is my new voice. Anyway, shut the up, bitch. I don't know who I was saying that to. I'm just saying in general. But look, what's going on here, guys? So we got an interesting scenario on our hands. We're sort of looking at the randomization options now. I'm a little miffed because I was alluding to something that didn't end up happening, which is unfortunate, which is this concept that we were going to be able to get our PlayStation 3 back today, and that I was going to be able to reintegrate very quickly into the fold the missing games that we had on our list before. But suffice it to say, that is not happening. That is not going on right now. Unfortunately, but what are you gonna do? I mean, it's fine. But look, so there's an hourglass on the table. I'm sure you can see that, and it's not obscured by anything at all. And once the sand out of it goes, the amount of time that you have left to guess on which of these options it's going to be is done. So that's kind of interesting. We're playing Pikmin. We're playing something completely different. We're playing Punch Out. That would actually, I think that option is like literally off the table right now. I don't think we can do that one for reasons I can't really get into at this exact moment. I don't want to talk about it. It's too upsetting, and it's none of your business as well. So. Pokemon Fire Red version, Perfect Dark, Deltarune, Super Mario Galaxy, and Outlast. Now, there are two other hidden options on this chart that we're not even going to talk about that I thought we were going to be able to do, but unfortunately, no. So you let me know what you think it's going to be out of those 8 options. You have a much higher chance than when it's 1 out of 8. When it's 1 out of 10. You might think based on my behavior that I'm like inebriated in some way, but I'm actually not. I'm stone cold, just raw dogging it. So that goes to show you that I communicate more effectively when I don't. That shows you that I can communicate more effectively when I do stuff. So it's time, that proves that I should do it. Drink some water. So guys, what's it gonna be? I literally don't think I can do Punch Out if it comes up. So that would be very sad. Oh, well, that's fun. Let's read more Blood Meridian. What do you guys have to say about that? Or if anything else, if you pipe up right now, I'll do something else. But I think That's what we were doing before. So maybe we'll just continue on with that. Yeah? Did I have that open somewhere? Wasn't it already in a window? Give me a second just to look through my files, my 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 my, my files, my files. No, but really, I gotta look at my files really quick here, guys. Come on, 1 second here. This does not make for a really good, effective series of like an audiobook when I'm jumping all around like this. But it's okay. This is just, I mean, it's kind of cool to see how extemporaneous I can make this. You know what I mean? I can read, if I can read extemporaneously or not. You know what I mean? So we're going to continue on with this book. It's called Blood Meridian. It's by an author named Cormac McCarthy. It's quite wonderful, and it's one of my favorite books of all time. So we're just going to jump right in. If you haven't, listened to the other parts, go ahead and listen to those, and then we're just going to go ahead and get started. So this is Chapter 4. Setting forth with the filibusters, on alien ground, shooting antelope, pursued by cholera, wolves, wagon repairs, a desert waste, night storms, the ghost Mananda, a prayer for rain, a desert homestead, the old man, new country, an abandoned village, herdsmen on the plain, attacked by Comanches. 5 days later, on the dead man's horse, he followed the riders and wagons through the plaza and out of the town on the road down country. They rode through Castroville, where coyotes had dug up the dead and scattered their bones, and they crossed the Frio River, and they crossed the Nueces, and they left for Presidio Road and turned north with scouts posted ahead and to the rear. They crossed the Del Norte by night and waded up out of the shallow, sandy ford into a howling wilderness. Dawn saw them deployed in a long file over the plain, the dry wood wagons already moaning, horses shuffling, a dull thump of hooves and clank of gear, and the constant light chink of harness. Save for scattered clumps of buckbrush and prickly pear and little patches of twisted grass, the ground was bare, and there were low mountains to the south, and they were bare too. Westward, the horizon lay flat and true as a spirit level. Those first days they saw no game, no birds save buzzards. They saw in the distance herds of sheep or goats moving along the skyline in scarves of dust, and they ate the meat of wild asses shot on the plain. The sergeant carried his saddle scabbard and a heavy Wesson rifle that used a false muzzle and paper patch and fired a cone-shaped ball. With it he killed the little wild pigs of the desert, and later when they began to see herds of antelope, he would halt in the dusk with the sun off the land and screwing a bipod into the threaded boss on the underside of the barrel would kill these animals where they stood grazing at distances of half a mile. The rifle carried a vernier sight on the tang, and he would eye the distance and gauge the wind and set the sight like a man using a micrometer. The second corporal would lie at his elbow with a glass and call the shots high or low should he miss, and the wagon would wait by until he had shot a stand of 3 or 4 and then rumble off across the cooling land with the skinners jostling and grinning in the bed. The sergeant never put the rifle up, but what he wiped and greased the bore. They rode well armed, each man with a rifle and many with the small bore 5-shot Colt's revolvers. The captain carried a pair of dragoon pistols in scabbards that mounted across the pommel, of the saddle so that they rode at each knee. These guns were United States issue, Colt's patent, and he had bought them from a deserter in a Soledad livery table and paid $80 in gold for them and the scabbards and the mold and the flask they came with. The rifle the kid carried had been sawed down and rebored till it weighed very light indeed, and the mold for it was so small he had to patch the balls with buckshot. He had fired a few times, and it carried much more where it chose. It rode before him on the saddle-bow, he having no scabbard. It had been carried so before, God's years of it, and forestock was much worn beneath. In the early dark, the wagon came back with the meat. The Skinners had piled the wagon bed with mesquite brush and stumps they drug out of the ground with the horses, and they unloaded the firewood and commenced cutting up the gutted antelopes in the floor of the wagon with bowie knives and hand axes, laughing and hacking in a welter of gore, a reeking scene in the light of the handheld lanterns. By full dark, the blackened rib racks leaned steaming at the fires, and there was a jousting over the coals with shaven sticks, whereon were skewered gobs of meat and clank of canteens and endless raillery. And sleep that night on cold plains of a foreign land, 46 men wrapped in their blankets under the self-same stars, the prairie wolves so like in their yammering, yet all about so changed and strange. They caught up and set out each day in the dark before the day yet was, and they ate cold meat and brisket and made no fire. The sun rose on a column already ragged these 6 days out. Among their clothes there was small agreement, and among their hats less. The little painted horses stepped shifty and truculent, and vicious snarl of flies fought constantly in the bed of the game wagon. The dust the party raised was quickly dispersed and lost in the immensity of that landscape, and there was no dust either for pale sutler, who pursued them drives unseen, and his lean horse and his lean cart leave no track upon such ground or any ground. By 1,000 fires in the iron blue dusk he keeps his commissary, and he's a wry and grinning tradesman, good to follow every campaign or hound men from their holes in just those whited regions where they've gone to hide from God. On this day 2 men fell sick, and 1 died before dark. In the morning there was another ill to take his place. The 2 of them were made among sacks of beans and rice and coffee in the supply wagon with blankets over them to keep them from the sun, and they rode with the slamming and jarring of the wagon, half sharing in the meat from their bones, so that they cried out to the left, and then they died. The men turned down in the early morning darkness to dig their graves with the blade bones of antelope, and they covered them with stones and rode on again. They rode on, and the sun in the east flushed pale streaks of light, and then a deeper run of color like blood seeping up in sudden reaches, flaring plain-wise, and where the earth drained up into the sky at the edge of creation, the top of the sun rose out of nothing like the head of a great red phallus, until it cleared the unseen rim and sat squat and pulsing and malevolent behind them. The shadows of the smallest stones lay like pencil lines across the sand, and the shapes of the men and their mounts advanced elongate before them like strands of the night from which they'd ridden, like tentacles to bind them to the darkness yet to come. They rode with their heads down, faceless under their hats, like an army asleep on the march. By mid-morning another man had died, and they lifted him from the wagon where he'd stained the stacks he'd lain among the buried him also, and rode on. Now wolves had come to follow them, great pale lobos with yellow eyes that trotted neat of foot or squatted in the shimmering heat to watch them from where they made their noon halt, moving on again, loping, sidling, ambling with their long noses to the ground. In the evening, their eyes shifted and winked out there on the edge of the firelight, and in the morning, when the riders rode out on the cool dark, they could hear the snarling and the pop of their mouths behind them as they sacked the camp for meat scraps. The wagons drew so dry they slouched from side to side like dogs, and the sand was grinding them away. The wheels shrank, and the spokes reeled in their hubs and clattered like loom shafts, and at night they drive false spokes into the mortises and tie them down with strips of green hide, and they drive wedges between the iron of the tires and the sun-cracked felloes. They wobbled on, the trace of their untrue labors like sidewinder tracks in the sand. The deluge pegs worked loose and dropped behind. Wheels began to break up. 10 days out, with 4 men dead, they started across a plain of pure pumice where there grew no shrub, no weed, as far as the eye could see. The captain called a halt, and he called up the Mexican who served as a guide. They talked, and the Mexican gestured, and the captain gestured, and after a while they moved on again. "This looks like the high road to hell to me," said a man from the ranks. "What does he reckon for the horses to eat? I believe they're supposed to just grit up on this sand like chickens and be ready for the shelled corn when it does come." In 2 days they began to come up upon bones and cast off apparel. They saw half-buried skeletons of mules, with the bones so white and polished they seemed incandescent even in that blazing heat, and they saw panniers and pack saddles and the bones of men, and saw a mule entire, the dried and blackened carcass hard as iron. They rode on. The white noon saw them through the waste like a ghost army. So pale they were with dust, like shades of figures erased upon a board. The wolves loped paler yet, and grouped and skittered, and lifted their lean snouts on the air. At night the horses were fed by hand from sacks of meal, and watered from buckets. There was no more sickness. The survivors lay quietly in that cratered void and watched the white-hot stars go rifling down the dark, or slept with their alien hearts beating in the sand like pilgrims exhausted upon the face of the planet Antaria and Anarita, clutched to a namelessness wheeling in the night. They moved on, and the iron of the wagon tires grew polished bright as chrome in the pumice. To the south, the blue cordilleras stood footed in their paler image on the sand like reflections in a lake, and there were no wolves now. They took to riding by night, silent jornadas save for the trundling of the wagons and the wheeze of the animal. Under the moonlight, a strange party of elders with the white dust thick on their mustaches and their eyebrows. They moved on, and the stars jostled and arced across the firmament and died beyond the ink-black mountains. They came to know the night skies well, western eyes that read more geometric constructions around, while Orion rose in the south than those names given by the ancients. Tethered to the pole star, they rode the Dipper round, while Orion rose in the southwest like a great electric kite. The sand lay blue in the moonlight, and the iron tires of the wagons rolled among the shapes of the riders in gleaming hoops that veered and wheeled woundlessly and vaguely navigational like slender astro blades, and the polished shoes of the horses kept hasping up like a myriad of eyes winking across the desert floor. They watched storms out there so distant they could not be heard, the silent lightning flaring sheetwise, and the thin black spine of the mountain chain fluttering and sucked away again in the dark. They saw wild horses racing on the plain, pounding their shadows down the night and leaving in the moonlight a vaporous dust like the palest strain of their passing. All night the wind blew, and the fine dust set their teeth on edge, sand and everything, grit in all they ate. In the morning, a urine-colored sun rose blearily through panes of dust on a dim world and without feature. The animals were failing. They halted and made a dry camp without wood or water, and the wretched ponies huddled and whimpered like dogs. That night, they rode through a region electric and wild where strange shapes of soft blue fire ran over the metal of the horses' trappings, and the wagon wheels rolled in hoops of fire, and little shapes of pale blue light came to perch in the ears of the horses and in the beards of the men. All night sheet lightning quaked sourceless to the west beyond the midnight thunderheads, making a blush day of the distant desert. The mountains on the sudden skyline, stark and black and livid like a land of some other order out there whose true geology was not stone but fear. The thunder moved up from the southwest, and lightning lit the desert all about them. Blue and barren, great clanging reaches ordered out from the absolute night like some demon kingdom summoned up, or changeling land that come the day would leave them neither trace nor smoke nor ruin more than any troubling dream. They halted in the dark to recruit the animals, and some of the men stowed their arms in the wagons for fear of drawing the lightning, and a man named Hayward prayed for rain. He prayed, Almighty God, if it ain't too far out of the way of things in your eternal plan, do you reckon we could have a little rain down here? Pray it up, some called, and kneeling he cried out among the thunder and the wind, Lord, we are dried to jerky down here, just a few drops from some old boys out here on the prairie and a long ways from home. Amen, they said, and catching up their mounts, they rode on. Within the hour, the wind cooled, and drops of rain the size of grape shot fell upon them out of that wild darkness. They could smell wet stone and the sweet smell of wet horses and wet leather. They rode on. They rode through the heat of the day, following with the water kegs empty and the horses perishing in the evening. These elect, shabby and white with dust, like a company of armed mounted millers wandering in dementia, rode up off the desert through a gap in the low stone hills and down upon a solitary jackal, crude hut of mud and wattles and rudimentary stable and corrals. Bone palings ruled the small and dusty purlieu here, and death seemed the most prevalent feature of the landscape. Strange fences that the sand and wind had scoured and the sun bleached and cracked like old porcelain with dry brown weather cracks, and where no life moved. The corrugated forms of the riders passed jingling across the sky, bister land, and across the mud facade of the jackal, the horses trembling, smelling water. The captain raised his hand, and the sergeant spoke, and two men dismounted and advanced upon the hut with rifles. They pushed open a door made of rawhide and entered. In a few minutes, they reappeared. Somebody's here somewheres. There's hot coals. The captain surveyed the distance with an air of vigilance. He dismounted with the patience of one used to dealing with incompetence and crossed to the jackal. When he came out, he surveyed the terrain again. The horses shifted and clinked and stamped, and the men pulled their jaws down and spoke roughly to them. Sergeant? Yes? These people can't be far. See if you can find them. And see if there's any forage here for the animals. Forage? Forage. The sergeant placed a hand on the cantle and looked about at the place they were in and shook his head and dismounted. They went through the jackal and into the enclosure behind and out to the stable. There were no animals and nothing but a small half filled with dry sotoles in the way of feed. They walked out the back to a sink among the stones where water stood and a thin stream flowed away over the sand. There were hoof prints about the tank and dry manure, and some small birds ran mindlessly along the rim of the little creek. The sergeant had been squatting on his heels, and now he rose and spat. Well, he said, is there any direction you can't see 20 mile in? The recruits studied the emptiness about. I don't believe the folks here has gone that long. They drank and walked back towards the jackal. Horses were being led along the narrow path. The captain was standing with his thumbs in his belt. I can't see where they've got to, said the sergeant. What's in the shed? Some old dry fodder, the captain found. They ought to have a goat or a hog, something. Chickens? In a few minutes, two men came dragging out an old man from the stable. He was covered with dust and dry chaff, and he held one arm across his eyes. He was dragged moaning to the captain's feet, where he lay prostrate in what looked like windings of white cotton. He put his hands over his ears and his elbows before his eyes like one called upon to witness some appalling thing. The captain turned away in disgust. The sergeant towed him with his boot. What's wrong with him? He said. He's pissing himself, Sergeant. He's pissing himself. The captain gestured at the man with his gloves. Yes, sir. Well, get him the hell out of here. You want Candelario to talk to him? He's a half-wit. Get him away from me. They dragged the old man away. He had begun to babble, but no one listened, and in the morning he was gone. They bivouacked by the tank, and the farrier saw to the mules and the ponies and had thrown shoes, and they worked on the wagons by firelight far into the night. They set forth a crimson dawn where sky and earth close in a razorous plain. Out there, dark little archipelagos of cloud, and the vast world of sand and scrub shearing upward into the shoreless void where the blue islands trembled and the earth grew uncertain, gravely canted and veering out through the tinctures of rose and dark beyond the dawn to the uttermost rebate of space. They rode through regions of party-colored stone, upthirst, and ragged kerfs, and shelves of trap rock, reared in faults and anticlines, curved back upon themselves and broken off like stumps of great stone tree boles and stones the lightning had clove open, seeps exploding in stem of some old storm. They rode past trap dikes of brown rock running down the narrow chines in the ridges and onto the plain like the ruins of old walls. Such auguries everywhere in the hand of man before man was or any living thing. They passed through a village then and now in ruins, and they camped in the walls of a tall mud church and burned the fallen timbers of the roof for their fire, while owls cried from the arches in the dark. The following day, the skyline to the south, they saw clouds of dust that lay across the earth for miles. They rode on, watching the dust until it began to near, and the captain raised his hand for a halt and took from his saddlebag his old brass cavalry telescope and uncoupled it and swept it slowly over the land. The sergeant sat his horse beside him, and after a while the captain handed him the glass. Hell of a herd of something. I believe it's horses. How far off do you make 'em? Hard to tell. Call Candelario up here. The sergeant turned and motioned for the Mexican. When he rode up, he handed him a glass, and the Mexican raised it to his eye and squinted. Then he lowered the glass and watched, with his naked eyes, and then he raised it and looked again. Then he sat his horse with the glass at his chest like a crucifix. Well, said the captain. He shook his head. What the hell does that mean? They're not buffalo, are they? No, I think maybe horses. Let me have the glass. The Mexican handed him the telescope and he glassed the horizon again and collapsed the tube shut with the heel of his hand and replaced it in his bag and raised his hand, and they went on. They were cattle, mules, horses. There were several thousand head, and they were moving quarter-wise toward the company. By late afternoon, riders were visible to the bare eye, a handful of ragged Indians mending the outer flanks of the herd with their nimble ponies, others in hats, perhaps Mexicans. The sergeant dropped back to where the captain was riding. What do you make of that, Captain? I make it a parcel of heathen stock thieves is what I make it. What do you? Well, looks like it to me. The captain watched through the glass. I suppose they've seen us, he said. They've seen us. How many riders do you make it? Couple dozen, maybe. The captain tapped the instrument in his hand. They don't seem concerned, do they? No, sir, they don't. The captain smiled grimly. We may see a little sport here before the day is out. The first of the herd began to swing past them in a pall of yellow dust. Rangy, ladder-tribbed cattle with horns that grew agoggle, and no two alike, and small, thin mules, coal-black, that shouldered one another and reared their mallet-shaped heads above the backs of the others, and then more cattle, and finally the first of the herders riding up the outer side and keeping the stock between themselves and the mounted company. Behind them came a herd of several hundred ponies. The sergeant looked for Candelario. He kept backing along the ranks, but he could not find him. He nudged his horse through the column and moved up the far side. The lattermost of the drovers were now coming through the dust, and the captain was gesturing and shouting. The ponies began to veer off from the herd, and the droves were beating their way toward this armed company met with on the plain. Already you could see through the dust in the ponies' hides and painted chevrons in the hands and rising suns and birds and fish of every device like the shade of old work through sizing on a canvas. And now, too, you could hear above the pounding of the unshod hooves and the piping of caña flutes meandered from human bones, and some among the company had begun to saw back on their mounts and some to mill in confusion when up from the offside of those ponies there rose a fabled horse of mounted lancers and archers bearing shields bedight with bits of broken mirror glass that cast 1,000 unpieced suns against the eyes of the enemies. A legion of horribles, hundreds in numbers, half naked or clad in costumes Attic or biblical or wardrobed out of a fever dream, with the skins of animals and silk finery and pieces of uniform still tracked with the blood of prior owners, coats of slain dragoons, frogged and braided cavalry jackets, one in a stovepipe hat, and one with an umbrella, and one in white stockings and a blood-stained wedding veil, and some in headgear of crane feathers or rawhide helmets that bore the horns of bull or buffalo, and one in a pigeon-tailed coat worn backwards and otherwise naked, and one in the armor of a Spanish conquistador, the breastplate and the pauldrons deeply dented with old bows of mace or saber done in another country by men whose very bones were dust, and many with their braids spliced up with the hair of other beasts until they trailed upon the ground, and their horses' ears and tails worked with bits of brightly colored cloth, and one whose horse's whole head was painted crimson red, and all the horsemen's faces gaudy and grotesque, with daubings like a company of mounted clowns. Death, hilarious, all howling in a barbarous tongue and riding down upon them like a horde from a hell more horrible yet than the brimstone land of Christian reckoning, screeching and yammering and clothed in smoke like those vaporous beings in regions beyond right knowing, where the eye wanders and the lips jerks and drools. Oh my God, said the sergeant. A rattling drove of arrows passed through the company, and men tottered and dropped from their mounts. Horses were rearing and plunging, and the Mongol horde swung up along their flanks and turned and rode full upon them with the lances. The company was now come to a halt, and the first shots were fired, and the gray rifle smoke rolled through the dust as the lancers breached their ranks. The kid's horse sank beneath him, and with a long pneumatic sigh, he had already fired his rifle, and now he sat on the ground and fumbled with his shot pouch. A man near him sat with an arrow hanging out of his neck. He was bent slightly, as if in prayer. The kid would have reached for the bloody hoop iron point, but then he saw that the man wore another arrow in his breast to the fletchling, and he was dead. There were horses down and men scrambling, and he saw a man who sat charging his rifle while blood ran from his ears, and he saw men with their revolvers disassembled, trying to fit the spare-loaded cylinders they carried, and he saw men kneeling who tilted and clasped their shadows on the ground, and he saw men lanced and caught up by the hair and scalped standing, and he saw the horses of war trampled down the fallen, and a little white-faced pony with one clouded eye leaned out of the murk and snapped at him like a dog and was gone. Among the wounded, some seemed dumb and without understanding, and some were pale through the masks of dust, and some had fouled themselves or tottered brokenly onto the spears of the savages. Now driving in a wild frisee of headlong horses with eyes walled and teeth cropped, and naked riders with clusters of arrows clenched in their jaws and their shields winking in the dust, and up and the far side of the ruined ranks and a piping of bone flutes, and dropping down off the sides of their mounts with one heel hung in the weather strap, and their short bows flexing beneath the outstretched necks of the ponies until they had circled the company and cut their ranks in two, and then rising up again like funhouse figures. Some with nightmare faces painted on their breasts, riding down the unhorsed Saxons and spearing and clubbing them, and leaping from their mounts with knives, and running about on the ground with a peculiar bandy-legged trot like creatures driven to alien forms of locomotion, and stripping the clothes from the dead, and seizing them up by the hair, and passing their blades about the skulls of the living and the dead alike, and snatching aloft the bloody wigs, and hacking and chopping at the naked bodies, ripping off limbs, heads, gutting the savage white strange torsos, and holding up great handfuls of viscera genitals, some of the savages so slathered up with gore they might have rolled in it like dogs, and some who fell upon the dying and sodomized them with loud cries to their fellows. And now the horses of the dead came pounding out of the smoke and dust, and circled with flapping leather, and wild manes and eyes widened with fear like the eyes of the blind, and some were feathered with arrows, and some lanced through, and stumbling and vomiting blood as they wheeled across the killing ground and clattered from side again. Dust stanched the wet and naked heads of the scalped, who, with the fringe of hair below their wounds and tonsured to the bone, now lay like maimed and naked monks in the blood-slacked dust, and everywhere the dying groaned and gibbered, and horses lay screaming. Ooh, now that's spooky. That was a spooky chapter. Yep. Hope you like gore. They were fucking the dead guys. They were having sex with the assholes of the dead men. It was pretty brutal. Pretty fucked up. Makes you want to read more, doesn't it? But we'll have to leave it there for now. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool out. Now that's what I call pretty cool out. Now that's what I call pretty cool out. Gives me some of that. Ooh, gives me some of that. That's scary. All right, what do you think? Should we move on? Should we keep going? Let me know when you guys are ready for the next randomization. If you know what I'm saying. If you catch my drift. Y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to start. Ding, 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 ding. Y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to start. I want to watch this. Worst singing auditions? That's got to be really funny. Am I your lady and you are my name? Yeah, that was really disappointing today. I'm not going to talk about what's happening with me, but I have like let's just call it an injury that happened today. And I went all the way to the shop that had my PlayStation 3, because they said it was done, and it's not fucking done. This like the second or third time that's happened with them. I'm not even really sure how that's possible, to be honest with you. Oh. Why doesn't he drop the gun? That's a good question, RC. Good question, RC. So what are we thinking, guys? What do we want to do now? Want to do another spin of the wheel? Who wants to do another spin of the wheel? Y'all let me know when y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to store. Yeah, let me know when y'all ready for me to store. Like y'all. Y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to store. I don't want to have to click that every fucking time I want to do closed captions. It should just be already done. Should already be done. Should have to click captions every single fucking time now. December 17th. See what else he had to say on December 17th. What's the first thing he says? What's the guess? What's the first thing you think he's gonna say? Let's see. Y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to store. What is your favorite Red Shadow catchphrase? Mine is, y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to store. I would go again, but I'm kind of worried it's going to be Punch Out. So I just don't want it to be Punch Out. That would really completely ruin everything right now. Y'all did not. Hey, Yasser. What's up? I'm so sorry about what happened last night when you fell asleep, bro. That really stunk. But anyway, y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to store. Yasser. Y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to store. Y'all let me know when you're ready for me to store. Yes. Who y'all think? Who y'all got your money on between Yasser and Fairy Fair? Straight up boxing match. No holds barred. I bet you Fairy Fair's probably like. He's probably like 5'9", 140 48 pounds. I bet you Yasser's probably like 5'9", probably like 147 pounds. So who y'all got? Because everybody knows Yasser got the reach, but Fairy Fair got the size advantage. Not to mention other stuff too. So y'all let me know when y'all ready for me guys to work. So Yasser has the speed, but Fairy Fair has the power. Y'all let me know ready for me to store. We are ready. Okay, let's get going. All right, let's get this party started. Okay, let's get the party started. Well, here we go again, guys. And look, I mean, I'm not going to be the one to say it. I'm not going to be the one to say it. I'm not going to be the one to say it. But, you know, if you make me, I might just have to go ahead and say it. Randomizes at 67. Now, what do we think about randomized being at 67, guys? I'm not joking with you. Look, what number is that, bro? Oh, Jiminy K, buddy, what's up? It's been a minute. How you doing, pal? I haven't seen Jiminy K in a minute. How you been? Oh, Jiminy K says we're not ready, so we're gonna take a little quick second. We're gonna wait until Jiminy K is ready. Jiminy K is a really nice guy from what I've seen, so I don't want to do anything that would hurt Jiminy K's feelings. We can't have Jiminy K get hurt on this show at any point. So, so we gotta wait until Jiminy K gives the go ahead. But once Jiminy K gives the go ahead, guys, that's gonna be like a completely different story. Then it's gonna be like, whoa, that's a different story. If Jiminy K gets in on this, man, that's gonna be a different story. Jiminy K, do you have any thoughts on the whole who's hearting the stream situation? Did you catch any of that? Do you have any insight into the whole situation that's going on in that regard? Anything that you want to throw your hat in the ring? You want to say who you think it might be? Any thoughts that might cross your little mind about that you want to share with the rest of the class? Uh-oh. Jiminy, I'm thinking always let your conscience be your guide, Jiminy. Jiminy? Hello? Jiminy. 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 Don't make me do something I might regret, Jiminy. It's like, which form of torture should I put you under? So anyway, Jiminy, let me know when we're ready to go. Arms for a miserable woman. Anybody? Anybody know what I'm referencing there? Anyone have any idea? So we're just waiting for the go-ahead from Jiminy. This is similar to, like air traffic control kind of situation. You know what I'm talking about? Where you're sort of flying a plane, or you're sort of in an aviation type of scenario, and then you have somebody. Those are the so he's like, RC, you are cleared for takeoff. Anytime you want to jump in here, Jiminy, we're so happy to hear from you and have you just decide when we're going to give the go ahead and everything. So just let me know when it's time to go. Jiminy. Okay. Always let your conscience be your guide. Always let your conscience be your guide. Always let your conscience be your guide. What am I talking about? No one's allowed to challenge me. What is he saying? Is he saying in this episode? Is this the one where I go into the portal dimension? I think this is the one where I go into the portal dimension, I think. I could be wrong. We just gotta let it play out before we can make that determination. Okay, so Jiminy says you can continue now. No problem, Jiminy. That's cool, man. So everybody, we're gonna go ahead and go ahead. We're gonna keep on keeping on. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna open up that little thing here again. This is the list, if you catch my drift. There's 8 items. Each is just as likely as the next. And you have to tell me which one it's going to be. Now, there is a big prize on the line if you do get it right. There are 8 options. It is something completely different. That's where we do something that's not a game. Outlast, Pikmin 2, Deltarune, Super Mario Galaxy, Perfect Dark, Pokemon Fire Red version, and Punch-Out, which I almost need to just, in this exact moment, I think I need to say that it can't be Punch-Out. So that would be the worst possible scenario if it was Punch-Out. So let me know which one you think it's going to be. I'm impartial. I'm never going to want one more than the other. You know what I mean? I'm what they call neutral. I'm true neutral in the alignment system. So you guys go ahead and you tell me what you think it's going to be in your little heart. Where does your mind go? You know what I mean? What does your heart tell you? Hey, whoa. Hold on a second. What was that? We're not going to randomize now. Who did that? Who just did that right now? Who did that? Who hearted the stream, for real? Yasser, who hearted the stream? Figure it out. Who was it? You think I didn't see that? You think I didn't see that? You will not do that again. You will not do that again. Do you understand me? Anyway, let's get back to the randomization. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so we're gonna do the old again. Oh. Who just hearted the stream again? Who hearted the stream again? I need you to not do that again now. Do not do that again. Or you are finished. Okay? You better not do that again. Anyway, we're playing Outlast. We're doing another. So this game's really creative. This game's really cool and creative because they come up with all these different cool scenarios for the player to do. Like sometimes the player has to turn on two valves and like escape like from a crazy guy, and then sometimes the player has to like turn on like two valves and like escape from a crazy guy. And then sometimes the player has to like turn on two like switches and escape from a crazy guy. Isn't that kind of scary? That's kind of scary, huh? Sometimes the player has to run away from like a crazy guy because there's two valves, and then sometimes the player has to run away from a crazy guy because there's two switches. Isn't that so crazy? It's like, who comes up with this crazy stuff? You know what I mean? This is crazy. It's like, whoa. It's like, huh? Sometimes the player has to run away from a crazy guy, and sometimes the player has to run away from a crazy guy, and there's like two switches, and there's another crazy guy too. That's like three crazy. That's like three things happening at once. It's like, whoa. This game sucks. This game stinks big time. This game is not good. It's the same thing. I mean, we're doing another time where we're doing the same game again. There's no difference. I don't want to play this. Red barrels. Wow. Just when I thought I couldn't get any more scared, red barrel shows up. So now we got to figure out how to. So now what we got to do now, guys, is we got to go. Guys, we got to go. Guys, do you think I should go to the baths or the cafeteria? I think the cafeteria. Well, I guess we got to go take a splish splash, taking a bath. Guys, is that my buddy again? How long do you think until he can see us? Like, what's his visual range? Try not to get too scared, guys. This part's scary. Hello? Hello? Look, if we creep along the ground with our 4 fingers, that will scare him. Where you at? he can't even hear us when we're creeping. Watch. Could this game be any more cringe? I don't think this game could be any more cringe than it is. Don't worry, we slammed the door. He can't get us now. Don't worry. Have we ever been in this room? Yeah, I think we have. Can you hide in here? No. You can't hide in there, though. What's the point, though? Okay, cringiest game in the world alert. Didn't we find one of the switches last game? Yeah, it's in here. See, just in case you need, just in case you're a little baby retard, you can do this. And it's glowing. Just in case you need extra visual cues. Just in case he opens the door, you know? Pretty sure he's going to open that door too. So now we need to wait. One of the central pillars of Outlast's game design philosophy is waiting. Waiting for the opportunity to play the game again. You know, you gotta wait for the game to let you play the game again. Isn't that a good idea? That's a cool idea, huh? It's like, you gotta wait for the game to let you play it, you know? That's cool, huh? Hello. He's not coming in here, bro. He's right outside the door, though, for sure. Because we gotta turn on 2 valves. We've only ever found that one. We don't know where the other one is. But he is right outside. Let's see if we can put our finger through the door to let him know we're in here. So we're gonna put our finger underneath. We're gonna put our finger underneath the door. You're like poking it, just to let him know. So if I open this though, he's gonna be right there though. You know what I mean? So how do you get out of this situation? Hello? No, he's not here. Is that sound cue connected to him seeing us? That boom. Anyway, here he comes again. Here he comes again on his own. No way he's gonna think to come in this room. No way he's gonna think to come in this room. This is where they keep laundry. Why would he come in this room? I wonder where the other sprinkler valve is. You know what's so interesting about this game is sometimes you're in an area and there's like 2 valves or like switches you need to hit and a scary guy's chasing you. And then there's another game mode where you're in a room and the guy's chasing you and you have to turn 2 valves. Which level of which is your favorite level of Outlast? Mine is the one where there's 2 valves that you have to turn on. The guy's chasing you. Hello. I hear him, but I don't see him. He's coming again. I think. Now, I think a really good design choice would be if they, one of these times, programmed it so that when you go to like expect to open a locker that you haven't opened, it doesn't open, it's locked. That would be scary. They might pull that in the future of this game.
Hello?
Is there anything over here? No. Okay, but he'll never look in the locker, watch. He'll never look in this locker, watch. For some reason, he'll never look in the locker you're in. Where's the other fucking valve? I'm so sick of this game. I'm just so sick of this game. I really am. I feel like we're going to be done with it like within 4 segments, I bet. He's right there. Where's the sprinkler, bro? I think it's worth a reload right now, just to see what's going on. We do need another battery though. We are low. Shouty got low. He's gonna get us in this room, 100%. He's gonna get us in this room right now. I'm telling you, he's gonna turn and get us. Oh, never mind. Where is the other sprinkler? Having a hard time understanding where they want us to go for the other sprinkler, to be honest. I don't know why I'm being so cautious. I'm never usually this cautious. I don't usually give a shit, but I'm just kind of wanting to not reset the progress right now. I don't know why. It's not in this room, I don't think. Is that a sprinkler? That is a sprinkler, but I don't think that has anything to do with the valves that one must turn on. Just hoping for a battery somewhere around here. We need a battery bad. Wait. No, I thought I saw one. That kind of looks like a battery, but it's a highlighter. See, it is a good game, or see the attention to detail. If he comes this way, we're done. He's definitely in this room still with us. I think. I haven't heard him leave, have you? Just treating it slightly like the game wants me to treat it, which is with a little bit of respect. I don't know. That'd be in one of these drawers or something, right? Can we open these drawers? Just get a battery? Is that a battery? Is that a battery? No, that's a lamp. I love the lamp. It's a deep cut. If you've ever seen this really obscure indie comedy movie, it's called Anchorman. Oh my gosh, it's a really deep cut. Probably no one's ever seen that. You know we're going to get an achievement after this section. Oh, there he is. No way he's going to come this way. Ain't no way. So his feetsies. Oh, he got me. Okay. This one seems so easy to find compared to wherever the other one is. Because like, do we follow the sprinkler system? Cafeteria, baths, laundry. Going up from here, through there, and then there's no water, you must find the two valves. Moron, because you're a moron. And the valves are got to be connected vis-a-vis these pipes. And so we look at the ceiling. We can confirm the pipes trail back this way. This doesn't open. It's literally boarded up. This leads us back to the fire, I think. Everything's loading in right now in front of our eyes. That's very scary. Yeah. So that's where the fire is. That's what we're doing with the sprinklers. And so it naturally leads us this way. Is there anything over here? I don't think so, right? Maybe just a little salvage for batteries wouldn't hurt. I don't want that. I don't want to know any more lore about this bad game. Why would I want to know lore about a bad game? What's the lore of the monastery? Okay, anyway. Boogie through here. Yeah, no, so sprinkler through here so that the game can load. There's a little loading screen right there that's hidden, tucked away. Really revolutionary for the time. The game has loading screens that it hides between sidling through these vents. You can see them. So here's Big Daddy. I really don't know what you're supposed to do in this section. Like how you're supposed to get around him. And does he see us when we're peeking like this? Yes or no? I forget. It's fine if he kills us. I don't care. Just wasted a little battery life on our camera. Does he have eyes or no? I've never really looked at this model. Does he have eyes? It's just the same scenario again. Turn on two things and go back to a thing. Haven't they done that 3 times already? Oh, so Mario can do it, RC, but not Outlast? Well, isn't this game supposed to be like a realistic scenario about a guy like running through a scary hospital? Is this not about like a scary guy? Like, is this not supposed to be like a real situation about a guy stuck in a scary hospital? Who turned off the sprinklers in the first place? What's the realistic? I'm scared too. My knees are rattling. What if he gets us again? That would be scary. You know what would be the scariest scenario this game could be like? It could be like, what if there's 3 valves that we have to turn on? Now that would be scary. See you later. So, that valve is on. He's going to burst in the room, right? Wonder where the other valve is. Oh, here we go. We're just going to run past him. What if there were 3 valves we had to turn on? Then it would be like, whoa. 3 valves? Okay, buddy, come in so that I can go. It's almost better if he starts chasing me because then he comes in this room, guaranteed. I hear him. There he is. What's up, Zaddy? Hi, Zaddy. That's Zaddy. The only thing scary about this game is losing progress. Yeah, isn't that why Resident Evil is scary? Resident Evil mentioned. You need a Resident Evil mention counter in the bottom left. Where's the other valve, bro? I don't care if he gets me. I'm just sort of looking around right now. There he is. The scary part is losing battery. Who cares about losing battery? I feel like it has to be down that way because now he's puppy dogging it. What do you guys think? I feel like it's got to be down that way because he's puppy dogging it. The AI knows that's where I want to go, so that's where it is. I just want to be done with this section, dude. Doing the whole creeping around, looking, look at my hand. You turned me into an alien. What is the process of somebody getting a finger reattached? Where's he going now? I'm gonna make a run for it. Wait, no, this is this fucking room. We don't want to be in this fucking room. Just kill me. Kill me if you want to. If you want to kill me, go ahead. Oh, it's a dead end. Wait, no, it's not. See ya. You can't get me. You can't get me. He's gonna come this way somehow. He's gonna come through that door somehow. I bet. I don't know why I'm being so cautious right now. Okay. So these guys are taking a little bath. I'm so sorry to be like staring at you while you're taking a bath, sir. That's not cool of me. Wait, sprinkler. Dude, look. So we have to watch every little drop. Okay, so this should be easy. We just gotta make it back to the thing. Okay, but we know we're both at the mark. Even if he gets us, it's okay. Do we make a run for it, or do we have to be stealthy? What do you think? I kind of want to know where he is. I kind of want to bait him to coming over here so I know where he is. There, he's right there. Neener, neener, neener. Literally neener, 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 bro. Try and get me. He can't see me through this like little thing. Hey, buddy. Okay. I think I know the geometry of this level. So I think I can make it to where I need to make it. I think. Yes, it's very scary seeing the same animation play over and over again. Okay. You know we get an achievement for doing the sprinklers. There he goes. He's going that way. So we can go this way. Wait, this is the wrong way to go. It's that way. Where's he going? Wait. Did he see me go in here? Damn it. No, no. Fucking waste of time. It's okay. This is relatively simple though. I mean, I messed that up because it was an easy fumble. Easy fumble. Okay, go do something else. He starts banging on this. I'm gonna go in here. He's gonna bang on these. Wait, what? He doesn't have to bang on it? Why? Why doesn't he have to bang on that door? Why does he get to just open it? I don't understand the mechanics. I thought he would have to bang on that and I would have a little extra time I could go in. Whatever. No big deal. Let's literally juke him right now. Watch. Wait. Why were we waiting for that, you know? We have to preemptively go in here. Hopefully he walks in this room. We could juke him again. It's just less like stealth gameplay, more like playing football, essentially. Just juking everybody. And I mean American hand-to-egg football, not soccer. Soccer. We can run past him and just get to that next section if he's not right here. This is the wrong way. He'll never find me in here. Let's go. Let's juke him again. See ya. Jukes. Oh. He knows how to path. He knows his pathing. He knows how to like intercept where we're gonna go. That's interesting. He came into that was an interesting piece of AI showcase. He knew where we were going to be. Keep getting turned around and going the wrong way. Gotta figure out a better way to do that. What? I got stopped on the bedpost. Okay. I don't care, bro. This is so simple. So getting fucked with like this, unlike to this degree, it's so stupid because it's so simple. The valves are like right next to each other. Stupid. It's not me. It's not me, bro. It has nothing to do with me. I didn't touch the valves. Oh. Now, did he wait for me to do the loop, or how did he figure that out? I was going to loop around over and over again. Why is it called football when they play with their hands? Our president asked the same exact question, not too distantly into the past. He He said the same thing. He says, why is it called football? You play it, man. You barely touch the ball with your foot. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up here, up here. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind when I play our last, when I play our last. You think he'd have like a sense of smell receptor or something? I want him to check. Yeah, here you go. Here, watch. Bye bye. So where is that thing again? It's not there. It's down this hall. Okay. Interdasting. Okay. And then he can't get us in this section. This is so stupid. We should just do it so fast. Outlast. Here we go. Oh shit. No, 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 no. I'm already done. I'm already done. I'm already done, bro. I'm already done. It's not me. It's not me. I didn't go in here. No, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. How do I always get confused at that part and go the wrong way? I don't understand. It's like I have the fucking money in my hands. I'm about to deposit the check and then I throw it away in a trash can. Okay. It's not me. It's not me. Oh. I just want this to be done. That's why I'm rushing it. I can't take it anymore. This guy's obsessed with Miles Upshur. He's like always following me around, like buying my OnlyFans. And this cover system is so tough to wrap my mind around. Wait. What? Oh, dude, it's just the same thing. Oh, where's the other way? It's the way he is going from. That's where he starts. So then it's just a straight shot. So what am I fucking doing? Why am I doing it wrong? I'm like pissing myself off now. Keep in mind, he can just walk in. He doesn't have to bang this down. Just walk into this room. It kind of sounds like he's out there, but it kind of doesn't. Are you out here, bro? No, he's walking away. We can make a run for it. We can make a run for it for sure. We can make a run for it. 100% watch. He's got no shot at catching us. No way. No way. No way. Look, he gave up. He's like, yeah, no way I'm getting him. He just turned around like, nope, they can't get him. Okay, so our city, let's end this, please. This is so stupid. Enough. This is the shortest section of the game. So let's stop doing the same wrong thing over and over again. It's this way straight. It's this way straight. I know it is. If he's there, he's there. Of course, he's standing in the way. Loop around. Look it this way. Turn this on. Done. All right. That's enough for me. Done. Stupid game. I told you. I told you we were gonna get a freaking thing. Whatever. Who cares? Actually, it's kind of funny. Does that start that way every time now, and we're screwed? I just want to see. Like, is he always going to be out here? Or are we free now? I shouldn't play anymore if we're done. I kind of want to just have the game be done though, but it's okay. Okay. Great. So happy that that happened. Thank goodness we're done. Holy. Okay. Y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to start. That was so stupid. I made it long for no reason. That's what she said. Y'all are gonna make a me lose my hair. Y'all are gonna make me lose more and more. Up in there. Up in there. Yeah, y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to start. Oh gosh. How am I even gonna get to the bathroom? Oh. 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 How long was that? I think the game is done, right? I mean, once we get outside, like, how could it even go on past that point? How could it go on past the point of how could it be any longer than us being outside? Isn't that the whole point of the game, is to get outside? Like, how could it last any longer than that? How could it last any longer than that? Outlast Chad sure are eating. If you know what I'm saying. Okay. Y'all let me know when y'all ready for me. That's all work. Activate sprinklers in male ward. Illuminated, flushed, soaked. They're trying to create some sort of parallel and then punished. Imagine finishing the whistleblower DLC for this game. Yuck. We're going to get this achievement, even though I don't want it. We're going to get lunatic because we're going to beat it in insane mode. Wait, or is that the difficulty that we were trying before? Bowel Whistler. Okay. Thankfully, that's done. Let me know when you guys want to hit the randomize again. Oh, mm, brother. Oh, brother. Y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to soar. Y'all let me know when y'all ready for me. Y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to store. Does that mean you're ready, Jiminy K? Wow, Jiminy K took the lead. Now he number one. Y'all ain't never see Jiminy K be number one, bro. I might be crazy. I think we might be done with Outlast next time we play. That'd be great. Let me know when y'all ready for me to store. Do you want me to start Jiminy K? Are you ready for me? All right. Well, just let me know when y'all ready for me to store. Y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to store it. Y'all let me know when y'all ready for me to store it. All right, here we go. So, sweeties, sweeties, it's that time of year again, sweeties. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's the red shadow type of beat. So what do you guys want to do? You guys want to do a little randomization? It looks like you guys picked 6, 7 as your category, which is so interesting. What do you think it's going to be? I mean, in this from these options here, like, do you think it's going to be Outlast again, Deltarune, one of the other ones that I don't, I shan't mention because they didn't even make the top 2. So what do you think? What makes sense to you? If you guess it right, you do get a prize, and we're gonna see what it is. I mean, is it so much to ask? You know what I mean? Like, is it so much to ask for it to be this one? I mean, I'm not saying it's what I want. I'm just asking if that would be a lot to ask. Would that be a big ask to you? Is that a big ask in your view, in your mind? I don't know. It's not a big ask in my opinion. To me, what do you think? What do you think it's going to be, guys? I don't know. Maybe. What do you think? Well, you guys, what do you think, guys? I mean, really, what's it going to be? Let me know. You got like 10 seconds left to guess. Super Mario. Oh man, that would be cool. That would make me smile, smile, smile. That'd be so cool. Wow, that would be awesome. Okay, time's up, kids. Let's see. I don't think I can do this right now. I don't think I can do this right now, physically. What an unfortunate scenario. What an unfortunate scenario that this is. I don't want to talk about why I can't do it. I'm just going to look real quick just to see if I can even. That sucks. Yasser, is the only game you like that we're playing right now Outlast? Like on a personal level? Is that the only one that you like? Ooh-wee. All right, let me just see. Let's see if it's possible. Oh. Let me look. Hold on. Here we go. 1 second. Oh. Hold on one second. Oh gosh. Okay. I mean, I think I could do it. I just don't know. I think if I can. I just have to stand in place. I just have to stand in place, and then it's fine. I just, I just feel like it might be a better idea to. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I should do it. You know, they always, they say that you should be boxing at your peak performance. So, not really sure if this is a good idea necessarily. This might not be. I think I might have to. Help! This is called ancient Chinese secret. The secret is there is no secret. Oh. Are there any Chinese punch-out boxers? Oh yeah, there are. There are some Chinese punch-out boxers. Who is your favorite Chinese? I like when Yasser says stuff like "just play the game" in all caps. I don't even think I could. I don't think I could do it. I don't know if I could do it right now. I think it's a bad idea to even be standing. Honestly, it seems stupid. Like, why? Why would I do that to myself? You know? Yeah, I'm gonna spell this out because I don't want Yasser to hear this. I don't want Yasser to hear this because I don't want him to think that I'm WEAK. But I kind of just don't want Yasser to see that I'm LIMPING. You know what I mean? I don't want him to see that I'm LIMPING. I don't want him to see that because he'll think LESS of me. You know what I mean? If Yasser sees that I'm WEK, no, I'm saying if Yasser, but here, look, I'm just going to spell it out so that Yasser doesn't understand what we're talking about. I'm just worried that if Yasser sees that I'm like WEAK and like LIMPING, he might like think LESS of me. You know what I mean? And then what will happen? You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Because Yasser obviously thinks HIGHLY of me, and I don't want to mess with his UNDERSTAND ING. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See, he doesn't. We can talk. This is us talking in code. We could say anything right now, and he wouldn't understand. Because Yasser, like the way that he operates is very. You know what I mean? He's very like it's obvious that he LIKES me. And when you see your HERO, HERT, it's like sometimes you're like, because like his PERCEPTION of me is that I'm this STRONG like guy, and it's like I don't want him to like be like UPSET. You know what I mean? Because he's like a LITTLE kid who's like looking up to like Superman and going like, you know what I mean? I don't want to make him think I'm not like GODLIKE. Like that's basically like, it would be like if he saw like SANTA, like, and he realized it was just his DAD. You know what I mean? It would ruin his CHRISTAMAS. You know what I mean? And I don't want to do that to Yasser. Yasser's too LITTLE. He's still GROWING up, If he sees I'm LIMPING, like, he might. I don't want him to be SAD, you know what I mean? So, yeah, Yasser doesn't understand what we're talking about. Thank goodness. I wouldn't want to, BURST his BUBBLE. That would SUCK, bro, honestly. So, like, hopefully in the morning I won't be LIMPINGing. You know what I mean? And then Yasser won't be like SCARED. Like, because I don't want to make Yasser SCARED. I want him to be like HAPPY and like LAUGH. You know what I mean? Because if he saw that, he would be WORRIED about ME. And maybe he would even ask like QUESTIONS. And I don't want to ANSU. And I don't want to ANSWER right now about what HAPPEND. You know what I'm talking about? He's only in, FIRSTGRADE. He like just barely got his last ADULTTOOTH. You know what I mean? He's still thinking about like rainbows and LOLIPOPs. And Yasser's still trading POKEMONCARDS on the play yard and like making bubbles in the bathtub. So I don't want to like make him become like a worse man because he like, if you saw that, you would like, if you saw your DAD like HURT, you'd be upset, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you be Wouldn't you be UPSET if you saw your DAD HURT? Wouldn't you? Like, level with me. Does that make sense? I mean, there's no, guarantee that tomorrow it's going to be EBETTER. But at least it'll give us like a. But at least it'll give us a little buffer, so that I can RECOVER. Who knows? Just for today, I think we got a SKIP. Just for today, I think we got a SKIP. Honestly, because if Yasser sees this situation, he's going to be like, WHAT? He's gonna be like BROAREYOU, okay? I'm gonna be like YES. I'm gonna be this poor Yasser doesn't even know. That's the sad part. Yasser, listen to this. Does that explain it? Okay, so now he gets it. Now hopefully he just thinks I have GAS, which is why I'm saying I can't do it. I think once he gets a little OLDER, we can EXPLAIN. But right now he's too LITTE. I mean, he's too LITTLE. Yes, or he tries to like see what's going on when I'm like cooking. He like looks over the CUNTER. He says DADISFORME. I go YESMYSON. He goes OHBOY MYFAVORITE YUMMY. Yes, there's like OHDADDY BOUNCEMEONYOURKNEE. And I look at him and I say, OHSON OFCOURSE. And he goes, yay! He's like, RIDEEMHORSEY. I'm like, Yasser, YOURMYCOWBOY. And I get, listen, I'm not saying anything about randomized again. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen for sure. You best believe the second I get to play Batman again, we're gonna play that because that was the next one that got randomized. I kind of want to finish Outlast because it's almost done. I do kind of want to finish Outlast because I feel like it's almost done. Do you guys agree? I feel like that game is done. Like, because it's like meet Father Martin outside. I'm like, wait a minute, outside? That's the end of the game. That's got to be the end of the game. How is getting outside not the end of the game? Wait, who was hearting the stream earlier? Did we ever figure that out? There's like 2 little baby hearts from just like a couple, like blinking you'll miss. What is my top favorite ice cream flavor? Such a good question. You know, it's pretty niche, but there is this one flavor that is so good. But it's basically the same as like, you can make it like there's variations of it on the same sort of spectrum. But something like a snickerdoodle. That's pretty bomb. Or even like a cookie butter, basically. Like any kind of cookie butter ice cream. Woo! How about you? What's Jiminy K's favorite ice cream flavor? And what's Yasser's favorite ice cream flavor? Tell me in the comments down below. Oh, I want to highlight something really important that Red just said here in this episode of the show. He said, "Look, I'm a reasonable guy. You know, I'm always going to want to do the randomization options, but if you convince me in whatever way you want to do something else, like that there's a smart move, I'm open to listening, but it has to be done in a way that makes sense." Now, I would say vanilla ice cream on top of a brownie or on top of an apple pie slice or several is basically just the ultimate, but that's not saying that, but that has nothing to do with the ice cream flavor. And other types of ice cream flavors are like even better on top of a apple pie slice. You know. I believe in miracles. I can't have Yasser see me limping. He would get really scared. He would call me 16 times. Y'all let me know. Why you can't say that now? Of course, that's what happens. I say it can't happen, and it does. Why is it that one? You know? It could have been any of them. And it was that one. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, how is that fucking real? Seriously. How is that fucking real? Murphy's Law, bro. Weird. Murphy's fucking Law, bro. For real. Pecan ice cream? What is the psychological profile on Jiminy K? What's the what kind of read do we have on Jiminy K's psychological profile? Let's look at Jiminy K's psychological profile real quick. Tell you what, if you don't fucking say something correct to me right now, Jiminy K, something bad is gonna happen. I'm not kidding. If you don't fucking say the right thing next, it's gonna be a bad time for you. Go ahead. Jiminy K, you better say something that impresses me right now, and there's going to be a little bit of a problem between us. So you better say something that makes sense right now. You better say something that makes sense to me. Fuck you.